one of our esteemed viewers, Daniel from Cincinnati, hit me. He said, "Why have you backed off Florida State after one down season? I just want to let you know we don't need you after you showed your true colors last year. And just so you know, we noticed." This is my life. This is my life. First question. Who is we? Daniel, who is we? We noticed. You said we noticed. Whomst? Whomst noticed. Secondly, actually, I want to circle back to this later. I got a little secret to tell you about Florida State fans as it relates to this show. I would like to recap my true colors. Daniel said I exposed my true colors because I started second-guessing Florida State after last year. And shame on me. Shame on me. Here are my true colors. I expected Florida State to be really good last year. They were historically bad last year. It made me question everything. This concludes my true colors. So, have I just described any feeling that you guys didn't feel? Daniel plus we. It's a great band name, Daniel and the We. Daniel, did you believe in Florida State wire to wire last year? Did you ever log into a message board and say some questionable things about Mike Norvell? Do you still have some lingering doubt about the team in the back of your mind right now? Yes, 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 you do. So why is it any different if I say that? And for the record, I've even said I still believe in Mike Norvell. And if you peruse your local Florida State message board, that's much nicer sentiment than some of them are expressing. So here's a great question. Daniel, I said what I said about him last year. I was probably tame compared to what the outside world was saying, but let's just say I ripped him to pieces. How would you have had me talk about Florida State last year? This was a preseason favorite to win the conference, and they went 2-10. 2-10. Vanderbilt had a higher over-under win total of 2. And Vegas thought they were going to suck. So how should I have talked about Florida State last year? Can you imagine how fraudulent I would have sounded if anywhere during this little stretch, L. Can you imagine after the North Carolina loss to move them to, 2-8? If I would have said, I know they've lost 5 in a row, but I really think it's coming together. Let's see what they do against Notre Dame. 52-3 loss. I would not have watched this show if it were being broadcast in my backyard. I would have closed the blinds. That's how little respect we would have had if we pretended Florida State was anything other than a smoldering tire fire last year. Everybody knew it. It's disingenuous to suggest otherwise. What we can do is hope for better results this year. Colin, could you do me a favor? Could you throw the question back up again? I did want to just point something out. There's been a refrain. It didn't really start last year. It started the year before because hey, quick timeout. Check and see if you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you're not, I humbly ask that you click subscribe. It's free. It doesn't sign you up for anything. What it does is it helps us keep this show free so we can just do college football year-round. All right, back to the clip. Was perceived to have done the old flipperoo on Florida State. I don't have, in fact, I want to get off air right now, so I don't have enough time to re-express what happened and why I felt the way I did. I've done it several times on the show. At one point in the 2023 season, I said if Florida State goes undefeated, they should be a lock to be in the playoff. They went undefeated, but Travis got hurt, and then I started to have a big problem with the idea that a committee was going to determine the value of a player. So I was one, even after Jordan Travis got hurt, that was saying if Florida State wins out, they should be in the playoff. But then on Selection Sunday, I said, no, I think the committee got it right. They put Alabama in over Florida State. That sounded very hypocritical. What happened the week of the title game is the head of the playoff committee came out. Not me, he came out. And he said, most deserving is not in our lexicon. Those were his exact words. I don't even have it written down. I still remember it. He said, most deserving team is not in our lexicon. It's about the best team. At that point, my sentiment was erased because at that point, the playoff committee guy was saying, we want the best teams in. Well, Florida State without Jordan Travis wasn't one of the best teams. Is that subjective? Yes, it is. I don't care what they did against Georgia. I don't need that. That's circumstantial. I don't need that. I'm telling you, my eyeballs said, yeah, I think Alabama's better than Florida State without their starting quarterback. And so I thought the committee, based on their criteria, made the right call. And yet I also thought Florida State got jilted because I thought the committee changed their criteria at the 11th hour. So Florida State fans, some of them didn't want to hear that. They just wanted to hear that I wasn't on their side, and then they wanted to trash me. Most of them didn't, though. To get back to what Colin's showing you right here, he said, just want to let you know we don't need you after you showed your true colors. There was this sentiment on some Florida State fan sites that all Florida State folks hated us and hated this show. They don't. They don't. The ones who talk do. What we found in our analytics is we have grown amongst the Florida State fan base. It's one of our top 10 viewership fan bases. All of the private correspondence we get from Florida State's positive. And I think it probably supersedes by a 10-to-1 ratio the negative things that are said. So it's a non-issue, like the whole bad blood concept. What the lower says right here is there's bad blood between FSU and Pate State. No, there's bad blood in the people who choose to press send on the internet. But like we said to start the show, internet's not real life. In real life, we're fine with Florida State. We're fine with the athletic department. We're fine with Florida State fans. Florida State was terrible last year. Hopefully they'll be a lot better this year. It sucked what happened to them the year before where they didn't make the playoff. I didn't control that Jordan Travis got hurt. I didn't control the playoff committee hypocritically. Valid. Hypocritically changed their criteria at the 11th hour. I had an opinion on it. I shared it. It is what it is. It was what it was. That concludes the dynamic between this show and Florida State.